Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's a great pleasure, of course, to be here today as the best man at this glorious wedding here today. Of course, the wedding of Kathleen and Cecil. And of course, we're all very grateful to be here today on this great occasion, and I'd like to thank you all for coming along today, indeed, at such short notice. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the reason why the wedding, of course, was brought forward today. And, of course, the bride and groom weren't too pleased with some of the things that they've heard about people today saying things out in the and said, of course, 1, 2, test it. They said that and someone said, people today said that the bride also. Testing 1, 2. And this is not true at all. No way is it true. It's just the way she was walking. But we thank you all for being with us. We'll all miss the bride and groom when they leave the neighbourhood, Kathleen and Cecil. And Kathleen, of course, she'll be particularly missed when she leaves, of course, because she was always a popular sort of a girl, really. And I suppose an obliging sort of a girl, really. And never let you down, really. Sky was the limit, really. We'll all be sorry to see the back of her, but that's what, so to speak. But sure, what can I say? It's a great honour, of course, and honour is the reason we're here, really. Think about it. Honour. Well, she offered her honour, and he honoured her offer. We will welcome please the father of the bride.
I'd like to welcome you all to the wedding reception. Today, I am happy that my daughter is getting married. I remember when she first came to me, and she said that she wanted to get married. I said, is it someone you know? It turned out to be someone we all know. So he came around to my house, you know what I mean? And he says, I'd like to marry your daughter. I said, have you seen her mother? And he said, I have, but I'd sooner marry your daughter. Which she did. I'd like to thank everybody today who bought a gift. Everybody except for 2 who didn't bother who didn't bother to buy anything. Now, they are the 2 that got no dinner here today. And they weren't on our side of the family either. Now, today, I would like to just remind you of the wedding gifts that have been received. There were 25 ironing boards, 17 lampshades, all useless, and an electric toaster that only works in America. And some smarter Alec, some comedian here bought them a pram, a baby carriage, and had it delivered to the church. Marked urgent. If I find out who he was, I'd like to help him to laugh it off in the intensive care unit in the county hospital. Now, this wedding today is costing me a fortune, and I would like to call upon the chef to come out and face us. Today was the first time I saw roast beef glowing in the dark and Brussels sprouts in their jackets. I thought the chef made a ball to the cabbage. You know what I mean? Now, and, well, that's a good match. I'll keep that. I would like to single out the man who's now my son-in-law. We're related now through drink. My daughter could have married a man with intelligence. She could have married a man with money. Are you listening to me down there? She could have married a man who was working. She could have married a man that wasn't working but was willing to work. She could have married a man. She could have married a man. Good luck. Hang on.
But no matter where you go in Ireland today, you'll find that there is a Chinese takeaway. And I figure that the Chinese people, wonderful people, they're lovely people, and they make fabulous food. Gee, the food is fantastic. But obviously, the Chinese takeaways were designed by a Scandinavian. Some fella from Norway or Sweden, 6'7", has designed the Chinese takeaway because the counters are about this high. Now, the Chinese people, who are wonderful people, they're not as high as the counters. So you cannot actually see them behind the counter. You could see the tops of their heads. It's like a wig on a pulley going back and forward, like this. But they're there. And the amazing thing about it is that they all look the same. There is an aquarium on the counter. There's a television behind the counter. There's a menu on the wall the size of a cinema screen. And there's always two doors. You ever notice that? Two doors behind the counter. Where you can never see people behind them. There's always a hand comes out like this. And delivers the brown bag. And the hand comes back out again. And they have a great means of communication. They have a great means of communication. Now, they didn't bother to learn the lingo before they came to this country. You know, they don't speak very good English. And usually when you go into a Chinese takeaway, and I go there quite a lot, you're greeted with, "Why you wa?" "Why you wa?" Now, this is supposed to mean hello and welcome. How are you? What would you like? Have a seat while you're waiting. There it is. Good luck, thank you, and save home. That's all covered in Wah You Wah. Now, Wah You Wah, if you are ever greeted in the Chinese takeaway with Wah You Wah, you just say to them, Wah You Ga. And it totally confuses them because they don't know what they got. Somebody else wrote out the menu. Now, Wah You Wah is fine if the customer is sober. If the customer is sober. But you get two fellas in Dublin coming out of the pub. They come out of the bar at about 12:30 at night, and they are full. And they come out of the bar, and they come out like... They're so full, they have their heads in the air in case they spill any. On the way home. And they immediately get the curry feeling. Come here, Mick. We go and we get a takeaway. Chinese takeaway. And it's about to say, okay. So they go along and they arrive at this Chinese takeaway. Here, we go in here. One hung low. He must have been in the war. One hung low. And they walk in to the typical Chinese takeaway, as we know them in Ireland. They walk up to the counter, and once they come inside the door, they're greeted with, "Where you are?" I beg your pardon? Why you are? Come here. Who said that? Come here for a minute. Come out here and say it. Now, you just visualize this. Try to imagine this. Now, the pubs have closed, and the whole takeaway, the whole restaurant is filling up, and there are lines, there are queues right behind, everywhere. And the fellow rushes up. Can I have chicken and chips twice? I heard you first time. Now, what do you want? Give us, I'll have beef curry with no onions. And onion curry with no beef. We don't have that. Well, you had it the last time I was here. There was no beef in the curry I got. You want a beef detector? And meanwhile, just visualize now the whole restaurant is full, and there's a fella coming over. Excuse me, here's a portion of chicken. Asshole! No, the leg. The leg, I don't know the asshole. Now, what do you want? Give us, have you spring roll? Spring roll? Yeah, spring roll. How many spring roll you want? How many have you got? Give us 11. Separate. And I'd also like a curry sauce on the side. The queue, though, remember? The lines behind. Visualize this. And there's a fellow rushing up. I'd like a spring roll and a chip. Fuck you! What's on to me? Fuck you! Don't bleeding start now. How would you like to wake up with a crowd around you? tell you, fuck you.
What's he saying, Jim?
He says the far queue. He wants you on the far queue. That's what he's saying. Over here. Yeah, I'll tell you, fuck you.
Oh yeah. What does your girlfriend want, Mick? You know.
Duck.
A duck.
Ah, sorry, Hanoda. Duck. Ah, duck. Not dog. Duck. We have no dog.
But you better find one. We're not leaving without it.
We have no dog.
How would you like this counter over there
In the car park. I told you before we have no dog. You don't seem to understand, you stupid cockshot. You stupid idiot. You idiot. I give you a simple test to find out you understand what I said. Spelling test.
Spelling? Okay, I'll do the spelling test.
Okay. First of all, take C out chips. What you have?
See our chips? Hips.
Very good. Take R out rice. What you have?
Ois.
Very good. Now take F out duck. What you have?
There's no F in duck.
That's what I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you that several times. No,